Senator Tkaczyk.
Thank you, Chairman. I just wanted to follow up on a previous question I asked the Chancellor, who was just up, on special education. I do agree with you that the budget is wholly inadequate. But I wanted to follow up on this question because I think it's a serious one where the IEP should be followed. And that should be the rule, not the exception, when you're dealing with children with special needs. And from your perspective, how is it going with Common Core and with regard to the teachers? What are they seeing when they're trying to work with children with special needs? And do we need to be concerned about how we make sure that they're getting adequate rigor and resources and those kids are meeting their full potential? And do we need any adjustments in the Common Core with regard to how we're teaching children with special needs?
Right. As I've gone around the state, and I heard the commissioner say he's also gone around the state, I have heard a totally opposite picture of what folks, educators feel about the Common Core. They feel that they have been given something where there is no continuum in the curriculum, so they have problems implementing something that hasn't been thought out fully, and it especially affects special education students. So this is something where we would like to address this throughout the coming session and make sure that especially our most vulnerable students have all of their needs met in the classroom.
Do you have a concern that if a child needs an adjustment to a test or an accommodation, that is respected, or are the regulations relating to the Common Core of basically forcing teachers to do things that in their judgment wouldn't make sense to that child?
If I could add to the answer, the problem is if you have developmentally inappropriate curriculum, generally, it's just much worse for a special ed student if there's a cognitive impairment. So what we've heard from teachers is that just great frustration among these children. They're being given an evaluation that they cannot handle, probably wasn't even developmentally appropriate for a non-disabled age mate. And we've encountered that around some of the curriculum modules. Not all, but some. There's been, we've heard back that it's very hard for parents to help their kids with homework in the mathematics, the arithmetic curriculum. So there is a problem on the developmental appropriateness of some of these tests.
Right, so everything that is done in a general ed classroom is compounded, every problem.
And do you think the schools have the resources to implement the Common Core effectively? I talked earlier about we've seen 5 years of classroom cuts. Will this budget provide the resources that have been missing, frankly? And do you see any hope in this level of funding that we can meet those new required standards?
Not at this level. We would need, NICID and AQ have put out the number 1.9 billion. The ECB has put out 1.5 billion. There is a big gap that needs to be filled, and we thank the legislature for filling part of that gap last year.
Thank you.
Thank you.